And from today onwards, we are going to start with rotary compressor. Okay. So rotary compressor is also called as positive displacement compressor. So under rotary compressor, so we have three types of rotary compressors are there. First one is root blower. This is one type of rotary compressor. Second one is Van Silt compressor. This is second type of rotary compressor. And third one is Lissom compressor. Okay, so three types of rotary compressors are there in this topic. So what we are going to study? We are going to study the mechanical details, the working principle, and the efficiency of each compressor. So this is the first type of rotary compressor, that is root blower. Second one is Van Silt compressor, and third one is Lissom compressor. Okay, so out of these three types of rotary compressor, the first one, this is the most important type of compressor. Okay, so number of times they have asked this root blower compressor, the working principle and mechanical details of this root blower compressor in the exam. Okay, so once I would like to show you the previous year question paper. Okay, so this is 2019 question paper. So here you can see question number 8A. Okay, this question. With a net sketch, explain the working of root blower compressor and derive the expression for root efficiency. So it is a 5 marks question. This was a 5 marks question. Okay, so in 2019 they have asked this one, the working principle of root blower compressor. Madam, 316 lateral and to 316. No, he is not there. He is not there. He is not attending the class also.
No, sometimes he is attending. Shiva sir given attendance.
Okay.
He is attending. That is a daily.
Today also absent. Okay, so this is in 2019. This is the question paper, root blower compressor. Just see how many times they have asked. Again in 2019 supply paper, I think once again they have asked this question. In 2019 supply paper also, yeah, question number 9B. You can see this question. Sorry, question number 9A. Explain the working of root blower air compressor with sketch. Again, it is 5 marks. Right? So next, if you see question 2018, I think in 2018 they have not asked. Let's check. Okay, in 2018 they have asked question number 8A. What are the various types of rotary compressor and the advantages only they have asked. In 2017, yeah, in 2017 once again they have asked the same question, question number 9A. Explain the working of root blower compressor with sketch. This is also again, once again, this question is 5 marks. Okay, so you can see number of times they have asked this question in the exam. Okay, root blower compressor. So that's why I have told among three types of compressor. One is root blower compressor, Van sealed compressor, and Lewis compressor. So root blower compressor, it is the most important one. Always they are asking this one only. They have never asked Van sealed compressor. They have never asked Lewis compressor in the exam. But we cannot say whether they will ask this time or not. Okay, so what we are going to do regarding this root blower compressor in details, we will study. And regarding this Van sealed and Lewis compressor, briefly I will explain. Some notes I will give and quickly we will explain Van sealed compressor and Lewis compressor. But regarding this root blower compressor in detail, we will see the working principle and we will derive the efficiency formula. It is very simple. Okay, so in today's class, we are going to study regarding root blower compressor, which comes under as a rotary compressor. Okay, so this is the aim of today's class. So this is the root blower. Okay. So we are going to start with root blower compressor. Once again, I am telling it is most important from exam point of view. Okay, number of times they have asked this question. So what happens? Root blower compressor. Root blower compressor is a positive displacement compressor or lobe compressor. This is also called as positive displacement compressor or lobe compressor. Okay. So this is positive or lobe. What do you mean by this lobe? Okay, so this part, this rotating part, whatever the part is rotating inside this one, I mean this part is called as lobe. This part is called lobe. Okay, so how many lobes are there? This is one, this is the first lobe, this is the second lobes. Okay, two lobes are there, so that's why it is called a lobe compressor. Second point, a root blower consists of two rotors. Which one is rotor? This circular part. Okay. This circular part you are watching at a dotted line. This is the rotor. This is connected with pump. Okay, pump will rotate and this rotor will rotate. Okay, with lobes rotating in a airtight casing. Okay, so this rotor is connected with this lobe. When this rotor will rotate, when the circular path, when this one will rotate, along with this one, this lobe will also rotate. Okay, so all these things, it is enclosed inside a box. That box is called casing. The outside box, this one, this outside enclosure, this is called as casing. Okay, that's what I have written in the second point. A root blower consists of two rotors. Okay, so this is rotor 1, this one is rotor 2. Okay, consists of two rotors with lobes rotating in a airtight casing. Okay, inside this airtight casing or boxing, these two rotors and the lobes will rotate. The casing has inlet and outlet ports on opposite side. Okay, so you can see this is the casing. Which is casing? This outer part. This is the casing. The casing has inlet part. This is the inlet part in the bottom side, and this is the outlet part at the top side. Okay, so in the opposite side of the casing, inlet part will be there and outlet parts will be there. Okay, that's all about second point. Now third point, the lobes are so designed that they provide an airtight joint at the point of their contact. So you can see in this contact. This is the contact point of two. This is the lobe 1 and this is the lobe 2. Both the lobe will rotate inside this casing. So they will rotate in such a manner that at their point of contact, suppose this is the point of contact, this point of contact will be airtight. Means there very small gap will be there. Okay, negligible gap will be there in between these two joints. That is the meaning of point 2. So the exact working principle you can see from here. Okay, so what about this outside part? This outside one is called casing. Okay, this outside part is casing. Left side, here the air will enter. So this is the inlet port. And the outside, right side, here the air will comes out. So this is the outlet port. Okay, so inside this we have two lobes. These rotating parts are called lobes. Okay, so this rotating parts are called lobes. And inside the lobes, one circular part is there. Okay, this circular part is the rotor. Okay, so actually, what is the mechanism? First, this rotor will rotate. Externally, one pump will be there. The pump will rotate this rotor, and when this rotor will rotate, this rotor will move the lobe because this lobe will connected with this rotor. When this rotor will rotate, along with the rotor, the lobe will also rotate, and this inlet valve will open. Air will enter from this side. Okay, then what will happen? This lobe will compress the air. So in this direction here, the lobe will here in the top side and in the bottom side in this position, this lobe will compress the air. And when you will compress the air, its pressure value will increase. So that's why in the entrance point, we have a low pressure air, and at the exit point, we have a high pressure air. Okay, so this is the overall mechanism of a root blower. Okay, so in early 90s, in 1920, okay, at the time of when the First World War completed, at that time this root blower was invented. Okay, so this is some parts of this is regarding the construction of a root blower. Okay, now if we come to the second point. So next part, one of the rotor is rotated by external means. External means by what do you mean by external means? External means some pump. Some pump will be there externally. Okay, that pump will rotate one of the rotor. Okay, this rotor, this small dotted part, this is the rotor. The external pump will rotate this rotor, and the other one is gear. The other one is gear driven by the first one. Okay, so some gearbox arrangement will be there. When this rotor will rotate, this lobe will also rotate, and when this lobe will rotate, it will rotate the second lobe with the help of a gear arrangement. Okay, that is the meaning of the first point. Second point, all these things coming under working principle. Second point is when the rotor rotates, the air at the atmospheric pressure is trapped in the gap formed between rotor and casing. Okay, so whenever this rotor will rotate, so the air will enter here. So here you can see some gap is there, this gap. Okay, what is this gap? This is the gap in between the rotor and the casing. The outside part, this is the casing. Okay, this part is the lobe, and this part is the rotor. So here one small gap will be there, you can see here. Okay, so inside this gap, this lobe will compress the air. Similarly, same will happen in the bottom position also. Okay, so in the top position and here in the bottom position, this lobe will compress the incoming air. That's what I have written in the second point. When the rotor will rotate, when this rotor will rotate, the air at the atmospheric pressure, because whatever the air will enter from the inlet port, the air will be at atmospheric pressure because we are taking atmospheric air. Okay, so the air at atmospheric pressure is trapped in the gap between rotor and casing. Okay, So in between this rotor and this casing, some gap will be there. The atmospheric air will enter through the inlet port and it will store or it will capture inside the gap between rotor and casing. Okay. Third point, the rotary motion of the lobes deliver the entrapped air into receiver. Okay. So outside this lobe here, one box will be there where we are going to store the high pressure air. This box is called receiver. Okay, so here inside this casing, what we are doing, we are compressing the air, we are increasing the pressure of the air. After that, that high pressure air, we are supplying to the receiver, which will be connected at the with the outlet. Okay. Last point, this increases the pressure of the air in the receiver. Finally, the air is used at required pressure from the receiver. Okay. Then from the receiver, we are supplying the high pressure air to the various requirements. Okay. So in exam, this diagram you have to draw. So if they will ask you regarding the working principle, some 5 marks question they will ask. So this diagram you have to draw. And this the construction part, 2-3 points you have to write regarding construction, and 3-4 points you have to write regarding the working principle. Okay, so these are the working principle of a root blower, and this is the construction of a root blower. Okay, so in very simple language, very small points I have written. I think it will be easy for you to remember. I have also kept the diagram. Okay, so once you go, these notes I will post in the group. Once you go through it, and I hope you can be able to understand what I was trying to write over here. Here. And if we will draw the pressure versus volume diagram, okay, only 2 pressures are there. This is the suction pressure. Suppose it is P1. P1 is the suction pressure over here. With this pressure, the air will enter to the casing, and the delivery pressure is P2. This is the highest pressure. Okay. So at constant pressure, the air will enter to the casing, and at constant pressure, the air will comes out from the blower. So the lowest pressure is P1, highest pressure is P2. Okay. So we have some advantages and disadvantages of root blower. Some advantages are it requires less lubrication. Lubrication would be very less, okay, because it is an open system. So there is less lubrication we require. Maintenance cost is less, okay, because there is no costlier part, there is no cylinder, there is no piston, okay. So there will be no lubrication. So that's why maintenance cost of this root blower is less. Noise will be less, vibration will be less, okay, and the construction is very rigid. These are some easy advantages of root blower. Similarly, some disadvantages is efficiency of root blower will decrease with increase in pressure ratio. Okay, when this pressure ratio will increase, pressure ratio means P2 by high pressure is P2, low pressure is P1. If you will increase the pressure ratio, then the efficiency of this root blower will decrease. How it will happen? When we will derive the efficiency formula of this one, then you will get to know about this. After this one, we are going to derive what is the efficiency of this root blower. There you can see the relationship between efficiency of root blower and pressure ratio. Okay, we will get there. If we will increase the pressure ratio, then efficiency of the root blower will decrease. This indicates we cannot achieve much higher pressure. Suppose inlet pressure is 1 bar, then outlet pressure should be maximum 2 to 3 bar. Then only we will get a good efficiency. If the outlet pressure you want some 5 to 6 bar, this means pressure ratio will increase. Then in that case, efficiency of the root blower will gradually decrease. Okay, so very small pressure increment will be there. So it will be useful for a low pressure application. That's what I have written in the first one. Okay, when we will do the derivation of this efficiency, you will get to know about this. Second point, delivery of air is not continuous from the root blower. So continuously this root blower cannot be able to provide the air at the output. Okay, So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of root blower. Okay, very simple it is. So you have to draw this diagram in the exam. You have to write 2-3 points regarding the construction, and you have to write 2-3 points regarding the working principle. Okay, disadvantages is optional. If you can write it, it will be excellent. If you cannot write it, it will also good. But I recommend you should write disadvantage and disadvantage also, because very small point I have added, and very easy points also I have added, so that it will be easy for you to remember. Okay, so these are regarding the construction and working of a root blower. Okay, regarding this working principle or construction, if anybody is having any doubt, you can ask. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, so now we are going to derive an expression for efficiency of a root blower. Okay, so efficiency of a root blower is denoted as eta. Okay, it is denoted as eta root. So the efficiency of a root blower, the ratio between isentropic work and actual work. Okay, so efficiency of a root blower is the ratio between isentropic work and actual work. Okay, so what is isentropic work? What is the formula to calculate isentropic work? Isentropic work is, the formula is already I have given this formula, gamma divided by gamma minus 1, P1 B1 whole into P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Okay, so this is the isentropic work, or you can say this as a ideal work. Isentropic process is also ideal process. Okay, so this is regarding isentropic work. Now, what is the actual work of the compressor? Okay, so you can see this is a open system device. This root blower is a open system device. In thermodynamics, you have studied regarding open system and closed system. What do you mean by open system? Can anybody say? In thermodynamics, you might have studied regarding open system and closed system, okay, and isolated system. What do you mean by open system? What is the definition of open system? Can anybody say? Open system means both mass. Yes, so that is correct. Both mass and energy transfer can take place across the boundary. Both mass and energy transfer can take place across the boundary. Which is the boundary? You can see this is the boundary. This casing, whatever this casing you are watching over here, this casing is the system boundary. Okay, so here this will be the system. Inside the boundary, whatever is present, that is the system. And outside the boundary, whatever is present, that is called surrounding. Open system means if both mass and energy transfer can take place between system and surrounding. Okay, so what happens? What is mass? See here, some mass of air is entering from surrounding to the system, and from system to surroundings, some mass of air is going out. Okay, so mass transfer means air transfer can take place between system and surrounding. So mass transfer will take place. Also energy transfer will take place, because initially the pressure is the atmospheric pressure. Okay, and finally the pressure of this compressor will increase. Okay, so pressure energy will also transfer. Pressure will transfer from low energy to high energy, lower atmospheric energy to higher compressed energy. So pressure also transfer. So pressure is nothing but a form of energy, pressure energy. Okay, so you can see both mass transfer takes place, air will enter, air will comes out, and pressure, atmospheric pressure will be some P1 at the inlet, and it will be P2 at the outlet, and of course P2 will be greater than P1. Okay, so pressure energy transfer will also take place between system and surrounding. So since both mass and energy transfer takes place between the system and surrounding, that's why it is called a open system. This root blower is called open system. And for open system, what is the work done formula? If we will calculate the actual work for open system, okay, so for open system, work done equal to, if you have remember, integration of V into dP. Okay, so two types of system we have. I will do here. We have open system, we have closed system. For open system, the work done formula is integration of V dP. Minus sign is also there, but I am not considering. I am also just taking the magnitude. For open system, the work done formula is integration of V into dP, where this V is called volume and dP is called change in pressure. Similarly, for the closed system, the work done formula is integration of P into dP. Okay. So like these two formula, I think you might have studied in thermodynamics. Okay, so the same formula we are going to do here. So the work done for this system will be integration of V into dP. So what is the lowest pressure? Lowest pressure is P1, highest pressure is P2. So if we will calculate it, the inlet volume is V1, integration of dP is P, lowest pressure is P1, highest pressure is P2. So you will get V1 into high pressure is P2 minus low pressure is P1. Okay, so this is the actual work done we have got. V1 is the inlet volume of air. Okay. So overall, the root blower efficiency, what we have got? Isentropic work. So this is the isentropic work. The formula is gamma by gamma minus 1 P1 V1 whole into P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1 whole divided by the actual work is this one, P1 into P2 minus P1. Okay. So here P1, V1 is there. Here in the denominator only V1 is there. So what we will do in this denominator, this P1 we will take outside. So it will becomes gamma by gamma minus 1 P1 V1. The ratio is P2 upon P1 whole to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1 whole divided by this P1. If you will take outside, it will becomes P1 V1 P2 by P1 minus 1. What I have done here, this P1 I have taken outside. Okay, If this P1 I will take outside, it will become P1 into V1. This will becomes P2 by P1. Okay. So this P1 V1 and this P1 V1 will get cancelled out. So the efficiency finally we will get is gamma by gamma minus 1, P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1 whole divided by P2 by P1 minus 1. Okay, so this is the root blower efficiency we have got. Okay, so but you do not have to remember this formula. You do not have to remember this formula. You just remember this formula. Root blower efficiency is isentropic work divided by actual work. How to calculate isentropic work? This is the formula to calculate isentropic work. First you apply this formula and calculate isentropic work. Then you apply this formula and calculate the actual work. Then you take the ratio between isentropic work and actual work. You will get the root blower efficiency. Okay, so no need to remember this formula. But in the question, if they will ask derive an expression for efficiency of root blower, in that case you have to do the derivation in this manner. It is very simple. Okay, just find out the isentropic work, just calculate the total work, take the ratio. In the denominator, this P1 you take outside. Okay, so on the top P1 V1, bottom P1 V1 will get cancelled, and the final expression this much you will get. Okay. So this is very simple part. That's why quickly I have done it. And these notes also I will put in the group and you will get clear. So now we will see if we have some previous year problem related to these things or not. Previous year problems. Right. So in 2016, here we have a question. Okay, here in 2016, we have a question, that is question number 8B. So we will copy this question. Okay, this 8B, it is for 6 marks. You see question, what is question number 8A? Question number 8A was, question number 8A, derive an expression for efficiency of root blower. Okay, just now we have done. In terms of pressure ratio means P2 by P1 and ratio of specific heat. Ratio of specific heat is called gamma. What is gamma? Gamma equal to Cp by Cv. Okay, so this efficiency derivation they have asked for 4 marks. In this problem they have asked for 6 marks. Okay, so that's why this derivation already we have done. Now we are going to solve this problem. So once I will copy this question, so you be ready with calculator. Quickly we will do it. Very simple this question is. Just we will put the formula and we will get the answer. Yeah, here we have the question. Yeah. So you do the calculation first. Huh? You be prepared with calculator. I'm going to write down the given data for this question and then we'll solve it. A rotary air compressor compresses 100 kg of air per minute. Who can say what is this 100 kg of air per minute? What is this?
MA.
Yes, this is MA. Correct. Okay, so mass flow rate of air equal to 100 kg per minute. And always I have told you in thermodynamics T1, always we have to convert this minute into second. Minute is 1 minute is how much second? 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 100 by 60 is how much? Somebody tell me. 100 by 60 is 1.66667. 1.667 kg per second. Okay, right. Next, from 1.2 bar and 293 Kelvin to 4.8 bar. So what is this 1.2 bar? 1.2 bar is P1. P1 equal to 1.2 bar. What is this 293 Kelvin? This is T1. T1 equal to 293 Kelvin. This temperature is already given in Kelvin, so no need to add 273. If this temperature they will mention in degrees Celsius, then 273 you have to add. But here directly they have given that the inlet temperature is 293. Then to 4.8 bar. 4.8 bar is nothing but our final pressure, that is P2, which is 4.8 bar. Always we have to convert this bar into kilopascal. 1 bar is how much kilopascal? 1 bar is 100 kilopascal. So 1.2 into 100, if we will do, we will get 120 kilopascal. Similarly here 4.8 bar. So we have to convert it into kilopascal. So 4.8 into 100. So we will get 480 kilopascal. Okay, you remember 1 bar is 100 kilopascal. Again and again I am telling you, remember this unit conversion. Okay, next, find the power required to drive the compressor. So power we have to calculate. Power is nothing but work done per second. This thing we have to calculate. If the compression is isentropic. Okay, if the compression is isentropic, so the compression process is isentropic, then in that case we have to calculate the power, and the compression process will follow PV to the power 1.3 equal to constant. So gamma value from here we can take 1.3 because it is given PV to the power, the expression is PV to the power 1.3 equal to constant. Okay, so gamma value is 1.3 and the process is what kind of process? It is isentropic process. Okay, so in this case we have to calculate the work done per second or power required to drive the compressor. So in this case you have to remember that during isentropic process, what is the formula to calculate work done? Okay, so for isentropic process, okay, so power required, which is equal to work done equal to, the formula is just now we have derived gamma by gamma minus 1 P1 V1 P2 by P1 whole to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Okay, so for isentropic process, this is the work done formula. Just now one derivation we have done. Okay, you can see here. Okay, so for isentropic process, okay, here we have done for an isentropic process. Okay, for isentropic process, the work done formula is gamma by gamma minus 1 P1 V1 whole into P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Okay. Lots of time we have used this formula. Many times we have used this formula to calculate the work done. Okay, so the same formula we have written here once again. So now we will put this value, put all this value, and we are going to get the answer. But here the thing is, this volume flow rate is not given. In the question paper, mass flow rate is given. And we know for an ideal gas, PV equal to MRT. So P1 V1 equal to MRT1. So we have to see in the question paper, yes, ideal gas equation. In the question paper, whether they have given the mass flow rate or they have given the volume flow rate. In the question paper, whether they have given mass or volume. If they will give volume, you will take P1 into V1, like this formula, P1 into V1. But in this question paper, mass flow rate they have given, kg per minute, 100 kg per minute. So if they will give mass flow rate, so in place of P1 and V1, we have to write MRT1. So this formula becomes work done equal to gamma divided by gamma minus 1. In place of P1 and V1, what I will write? MRT1. MRT1 whole into P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Okay, now I will put the values over here. What is gamma? Gamma is 1.3. So gamma by gamma minus 1. 1.3 divided by 1.3 minus 1 into, what is the mass flow rate? Mass flow rate is 1.667. 1.667 into, what is R? R is called universal gas constant. The value of R is 0.287 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Okay, so R value in kilojoules only we will take, so that power or work done we will get in kilowatt. So 0.287 R value into, what is T1? T1 is 293 Kelvin. So in place of T1, we would write 293 whole into P2 by P1. P2 is how much? P2 is 480. P1 is 120. So P2 is 480 divided by P1 is 120 whole to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Gamma is 1.3 minus 1 by 1.3 minus 1. Now simply you solve this one and we will get the power or work done per second equal to how much you tell me. This answer we will get in kilowatts. We will get, yes, 20305, 308, 313, all lateral entry. Okay, right. 312, correct. 228.971. We will get the answer 228.971 kilowatt. Why kilowatt? Because this R value 0.287 we have taken in kilojoules per kg. This pressure value, it is in kilopascal. Okay, so everything we have taken in kilo. So that's why the power or work done per second we will get in kilowatt. That's why I am telling you all the quantity you try to convert in kilo. Pressure you have to convert in kilopascal. This R value you have to take in kilojoules per kg. So that this pressure we will get 228.97. See how simple is this? For this much you will get 6 marks. This was a 6 marks question in the year 2016. Okay, just write down the given data, apply this simple formula, calculate it, you will get the answer. Okay, so that is the solution for this question. Question number 8B. Okay, a rotary air compressor compress 100 kg of air per minute from 1.2 bar and 293 Kelvin to 4.8 bar. Find the power required to drive the compressor if the compressor is isentropic and follows PV to the power 1.3 equal to constant. How many marks? 6 marks you will get for this question. And 4 marks is for that efficiency or expression for efficiency. Okay, see how simply you can crack the question. Okay, so in 2016 they have asked regarding root blower. In 2016 they have asked. In 2017 they have asked. In 2018 they have asked the advantages of this root blower. 2019 they have asked. In every year they are asking either theory part or problem. Problems only they have asked in 2016, but in the other remaining 3 years they have asked the theory, construction and details of this root blower. Okay, so that's why this part is important from exam point of view. So whatever the things we have discussed, whatever these things we have discussed, once you try to analyze. If volume flow rate is given, units of power will remain same only. Whether they will give mass flow rate or volume flow rate, unit of power will remain same, kilowatts only. If you want to know how, then I will tell you. Okay. Suppose they have given mass flow rate, which is in kg per second. Okay, so what is the pressure or work done formula? We are taking gamma by gamma minus 1 mRT1 P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. If they will give volume flow rate, what is the unit of volume flow rate? It is meter cube per second. So in that case also, what is the formula of power or work done? It will be gamma by gamma minus 1. In place of mRT1, what we will write? P1 V1 whole to the power P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. You can see here gamma by gamma minus 1 is there. Here also gamma by gamma minus 1 is there. This part and this part is also same. Only what is different here, for mass flow rate we are taking mRT1. For volume flow rate we are taking P1 into V1. Okay, so here also the unit we will get kilowatt. Here also the unit we are going to get kilowatt. Why? Because ideal gas equation is P1 V1 equal to mRT1. This part is exactly similar to this part. If everything will remain same, then unit will also remain same. Now I will tell you how these two parts are similar. mRT1, mRT1. What is the unit of mass? It is in kg per second into. What is the unit of R? Unit of R is kilojoules per kg Kelvin into. What is the unit of temperature? Unit of temperature is Kelvin. Okay, this is mRT. Now if you will calculate this Kelvin, kg, what we will get? Kilojoule per second. Kilojoule per second. And what is kilojoule per second? Kilowatt. So if we are putting mRT, then the power unit we are getting in kilowatt. Now consider this case. Suppose you are taking P1 into V1. What is the unit of pressure? Unit of pressure is kilopascal. Okay, 100 we are multiplying and we are converting the pressure into kilopascal. What is the unit of volume? Unit of volume is meter cube per second. Okay, now what is this kilopascal? What is pressure? Pressure is nothing but force upon area. Okay, pressure is nothing but force upon area. What is this force? Force is kilonewton. What is this area? Area is meter square. So in place of kilopascal, I can write kilonewton per meter square into this volume is meter cube per second. Okay, so here meter square, meter cube will get cancelled, we will get meter. So what we have got in total? We have got kilonewton into meter per second. What is this kilonewton into meter? Who can say what is kilonewton into meter? What is this part? Kilojoules. Okay, because work done equal to what is work done? Force into displacement. Force is kilonewton, displacement is meter. So unit of work done is kilojoules. So kilojoule is nothing but kilonewton into meter. So in place of kilonewton into meter, we will write kilojoules per second. What is kilojoules per second? Kilojoules per second is
Watt.
kilowatts. So if we are taking P1 V1 volume, then we are getting the power unit kilowatt. If we are taking MRT, then also the power unit we are getting kilowatt. So whether you take MRT1 or you take P1 V1, in both the case, unit of power you will get in kilowatt. Okay. 313 Sudhir, are you clear or shall I explain once again? Okay, so volume flow rate is given in the question paper, then also the unit of power is kilowatt only, and this is the proof. If you will do this unit conversion, you will get answers. Okay, always the unit of power will be in kilowatt or watt. Anybody is having any other doubt? Okay, if doubt is not there, whatever we have discussed just now, within half an hour, I will put in the group. Once you go through it, okay, once you practice, once you try to remember the theory parts of this root blower, because it is important. If you are getting any doubt, you ask me. Okay, so once again, we will meet tomorrow. Have a nice day. Be safe. Right. Guys, is it audible?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
hello, Prashant. Prashant. Prashant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So we are discussing about Unit 5 higher pair. So in this Unit 5 higher pair, mainly two parts we have. Okay, 80% first part, 20% second part. So first part, last topic we are discussing. Okay, so second part, gear trains concepts, small concept is there. Okay, so whatever it may be, tomorrow we don't have classes, no KOM classes not there. So tomorrow afternoon, I would like to take 1 hour to complete that remaining portion. Okay, Friday we have, Saturday we have. Okay, that 3 hours are enough to complete remaining things. Okay, but చాలా మంది మళ్ళీ అడిగారు ఇది ఈ ఫస్ట్ ఇది స్టార్టింగ్ నుంచి దట్ మీన్స్ యూనిట్ 5 ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయమని. సో వాళ్ళ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో సో వాట్ ఎవర్ వి డిస్కస్ ఫ్రమ్ స్టార్టింగ్ ఆన్వర్డ్స్ ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు రిపీట్ టుడే. ప్లీజ్ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్. మీకు పర్ఫెక్ట్ అయితే జస్ట్ అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి, లేని వాళ్ళు కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయండి. ఓకే, మీరు పర్ఫెక్ట్ అనుకుంటే జస్ట్ అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి. ఓకే, నాకు ఎవరైతే ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయమని చెప్పారో వాళ్ళు మాత్రం కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయండి. రైట్. Right. So power transmission generally, okay, power is going to transfer